What's going on, guys? Noah Sanford here. We are here in Boulder City Bass Tackle. It's Thursday, and that means we're doing the fishing report. So you guys have seemed to really like the last couple weeks of me doing the fishing reports for Lake Mead, so we're gonna keep them coming. Before we jump into the video, make sure that you guys hit a like on this video, leave a comment letting me know that you wanna keep seeing them in the future, hit that subscribe button so that way you never miss an upload. Because if you don't do those things, I have no idea if you guys want to keep seeing these videos in the future, so I don't know if I should keep doing them or not. So let me know down in the comments and like the video if you want to see more of these. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. We're going to talk about wind conditions, water temperatures, where I've been catching these fish, and how I've been catching them. So let's jump right into it. Wind conditions look pretty good going into the weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday look very manageable. It looks like Saturday you might have a little bit of wind in the afternoon, but overall, the actual wind conditions don't look bad at all. So you guys should be able to go out on kayak, on shore, and in your boats. So should be good there. Moving on to water temps. As the nights continue to drop in temperature, we're still seeing a drop in water temperature. Not as quickly as we did a couple weeks ago when it dropped from like 80 to 60, or 80 to like 65 in like 2 weeks. But right now I'm seeing mid to low 60s. So depending on where you're at, if you're out in the basin where the water's constantly churning, you're gonna see 61, 62, maybe 62 and a half. Once you get into the backs of those coves and that stiller, more calm water, you're probably gonna see 63 or 64. The warmest I found yesterday was like 64 and a quarter. So you're probably not gonna see anything over 65. So what does that mean? Topwater bite, is probably done for the most part unless you get really lucky. And we're gonna start moving into those slower, more finesse style baits and those baits that have more drawing power to get these cooler water fish more willing to bite, right? So that's kind of leading me into my next topic here is what I've been catching these fish on. So I'm gonna come over here to the bait wall and kind of show you guys. So my top baits this week have 100% been the swim baits or the A-rig category, okay? So what that means is I've been catching these bass consistently this week. If you've seen any of my other videos, by the way, check out my last couple videos. You'll see me catching a lot of fish on these swim baits and these A-rigs. That's been the killer bait recently. So the reason for that is because as these water temps are dropping, the shad are starting to get confused. They're not sure if they should stay shallow, go deep. They don't really know what to do. So they're kind of all throughout the water column. I've caught fish on these swim baits and A-rigs in 2 feet of water and 20 feet of water, right? So the fish are all scattered out right now. What you wanna do is throw these bait imitating lures, okay? So the reason I like this A-rig right now this time of year is because this bait's moving all over the place. Bass are really honing in on these bait fish. So throwing these A-rigs on your secondary points, right? You see a ledge coming into the water, it's dropping off. Right where you see that light green water turn to the dark water, you're throwing it and rolling it past that point, right? Same thing with the swim baits. So like I said, these fish are eating bait, so anything you throw that's gonna imitate a bait fish. And you can throw the swim bait out, work it fast on the surface. You can throw it out, let it sink, and just roll it along the bottom. Really play with it, right? Because I've found that this week I've caught them using these baits, but a lot of different ways. I've burned an A-rig on the surface and got a few bites that way. I've slow rolled it on the bottom, got a few bites that way. Been using my live scope and seeing them in the middle of the water column and targeting them that way as well. So when you're actually throwing these baits, you wanna make them look lifelike. The biggest mistake that I see guys do is throw these baits out and think it's just a chuck and wind type deal. That is true, it will work for some fish, but I notice you get twice as many bites when you put a lot more action to these baits. So you wanna slow wind them for a second and speed it up really quick. So if a fish is trailing that bait, it's just moving through the water and all of a sudden it flutters, right? Maybe to the bass, it looks like that bait realizes there's something chasing it. That's what's gonna draw that reaction bite. So straight wind it, give it a few twitches, speed it up, slow it down, try it all. And then, once you do that, you'll figure out which one is working best. It really depends on the day. I did really well the other day just slow rolling this in the middle of the water column. Yesterday I did well with it, burning it up on the surface, right? So play around with it, see what works best depending on the day. And that's kind of moving us into our last section here, where these fish are, where I've been catching them. I mentioned a minute ago, it's the secondary points, right? So these fish I've found are kind of in that 15 to 25 foot of water range. Every once in a while I'll catch one up shallow if I see some bait fish flickering on the surface. For the most part, they're a little bit deeper though. So fishing these swim baits in these A-rigs in that 15 to 25 foot range, I found that these bass are more on the front points of these coves. There's not really as many fish in the backs of these coves right now. I'm finding that they're on those deeper points on the outside, right? The main lake area. So Depending on where you are, look for those coves with steeper points that are coming on the outside of that main lake channel, right? I haven't done very well fishing in the backs of the coves with the more still water. I've done really well on those steeper points, 15 to 25 feet of water on the main lake points, right? So if you're going down the main section of the lake, you see some points to your left or right, hit those spots, give them a try. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. We talked about water temps, wind conditions, the baits, and where I've been catching them. So get out there, throw something that imitates a bait fish, and I'm sure you guys will catch them this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Once again, guys, let me know if you want to see more of these videos. Hit that like button. Let me know in the comments if you want to keep seeing them. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an upload. My name is Noah Sanford, and we'll see you guys out on the water.